In a market that's absolutely packed with options, how do you get people to pick your brand? Not just once, but over and over again. Well, it's usually not about being the cheapest. It's about earning something way more valuable: trust. Today, we're going to dive into the super competitive world of ghee sales to see how a little bit of honesty can be the most powerful sales tool you've got.
Okay, so picture this. You're a shopkeeper. You're staring at a shelf with like 10 different brands of ghee. Sure, the labels are all different, but the stuff inside, it all kind of looks the same. The real question that's going through your head, and definitely through your customer's head, isn't which one is the best deal. It's which one of these is actually safe to take home.
Because let's be real, ghee isn't like buying a candy bar. It's a staple. It's something that's used every single day in meals for the entire family. So when someone picks a brand, they're not just buying an ingredient. They are making a decision about their family's health. The stakes are incredibly high.
So with the stakes being that high, how do most salespeople try to win over that retailer? Well, this is exactly where the whole pitch just completely falls apart. Let's look at the classic mistake.
The salesperson walks in, right? Super confident, and they lead with the oldest line in the book. "Sir, our ghee is pure."
When that doesn't immediately get a yes, what's next? You know it. They double down with another classic. "This is the best quality you're gonna find, sir."
And then, to complete the trifecta of forgettable sales pitches, they hit him with, "And of course, sir, the rate is also good. Pure, best quality, good price." It all just starts to sound like white noise, doesn't it?
But here's the crucial part. Here's what's actually happening in the shopkeeper's head. He's thinking, dude, the last 5 guys who walked in here said the exact same thing. And just like that, your pitch has completely blended in with everyone else's. The conversation dies, and you've made 0 impact.
So how in the world do you cut through all that noise? Well, it takes a totally different strategy. You've got to stop selling, and you've got to start explaining. This is what we call the sales with value approach.
The whole idea behind sales with value is actually super simple. Talk less, explain more. Your goal completely shifts. You're not just trying to push a product anymore. You're trying to build real, actual trust. And you do that by educating the retailer, by becoming a resource for them, not just another salesperson trying to make a quota.
So what does that education actually sound like? Well, instead of those generic claims, you start sharing real, valuable information. You could explain, for instance, that because ghee is a natural product, its color can actually change a little from batch to batch, and that's totally normal. You could point out how the texture gets different depending on the temperature, and that this is actually a good sign, not a flaw. And here's a big one. You could teach them that ghee that looks too perfectly white and uniform might actually be a red flag for adulteration.
I mean, look at the difference here. The common pitch boasts it's pure white. The value pitch says, hang on, overly white ghees can be a red flag. Instead of just yelling best quality, you're explaining why natural variations are a sign of quality. The whole conversation pivots from price to trust. And that right there is a total game changer. And when you make that pivot, something really powerful starts to happen. The conversation stops being about just one sale. It starts building the foundation for the thing that really matters in business, the repeat order.
It's a simple but awesome chain reaction. First, you share the truth. You give the retailer honest, useful facts. Second, that truth builds trust. Suddenly, you're not just a salesperson in their eyes, you're an expert, someone they can rely on. And that leads to the ultimate result. They stop stocking just your ghee, they start stocking you. They trust your judgment, and that's what keeps them coming back.
And this whole approach isn't just some trick for selling ghee. It's a philosophy for building a solid business in pretty much any market. It really highlights the difference between 2 kinds of salespeople. On one side, you have the scheme salesman. This person is all about the discount, the special offer, the short-term deal. And yeah, they might get a quick, temporary order. But on the other side, you have the truth salesman. This person sells the reality of the product. And by doing that, they don't just get an order, they create a permanent customer. At the end of the day, it all boils down to this one powerful thought. Ghee's taste is checked at home, but the salesman's truth is remembered in the market. In a world with a million choices, the most valuable thing you have to offer isn't a discount. It's your credibility. That's what builds trust, and that, my friends, is what really gets you the repeat order.